Hey guys, Power of Tabarn here with a post-recording warning to you all. Don't watch this video. That is all. What's up guys, Power of Tabarn here. Took a quick break between Game 2 and 3, so we're going to be starting Game 3 a bit late. I apologize for that, but the game is still fairly early, especially given that this game is going to be going on for a long time because it is Tiki versus Nana. Two control-y decks. I feel like Tiki classifies more as control and Nana classifies more as stall. Both of these decks want a lot of similar cards in them. Both very grindy, late-gamey decks. I think that having played this matchup a good deal, I've had a lot of success with... I played, obviously, as Tiki because Tiki's my main deck. Yeah, I played this matchup against Jared as Tiki several times, and I think that Tiki sometimes does I've had very mixed results. Sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. I think ultimately what it comes down to though is just who gets more Delthea and who gets better Delthea hits. Yeah, so Daniel's in a bit of a tricky situation here. I don't see why he would have moved back Tiki because Jared never ever attacks MC when playing this deck, ever. I guess he's trying to get Jared to hit the Gregor, but I don't think Jared's feasibly going to do that either, so yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Jared is known for having very good luck with Nana, so I wouldn't be surprised if a Delthea overclass is coming out here. Or if not, a Jenny overclass. Oh, a Faye. I see. Maybe he's just playing Faye 1 in preparation. Oh, yeah, Faye overclass, so I gotta take it back. Jared ends up missing the turn 4 Delthea / Jenny. This could actually be fairly catastrophic for Jared. I use catastrophic a lot. This isn't the end of the world for Jared. This game's still very winnable for him, but I definitely feel like Daniel is in the advantage right now. That being said, Daniel isn't going to be able to overclass this turn, so Jared can still maintain a lead if he gets a Delthea next turn, but he has to make it happen next turn. And yeah, it might not happen. And Daniel drops a Jenny. That kind of sucks for Jared. Daniel's going to fill up his hand, stack it in a way that allows Delthea to do as little damage as possible. Jared is going to be dodging that Tiki hit. Both of these players are at a remarkably low hand size right now, especially given the decks that they're currently playing. These decks are known for having really big hand sizes around this point of the game, but yeah. Jared with the timely dodge. He pretty much has to dodge that because if he doesn't dodge it, then Daniel uses Jenny twice. That gives him a really big lead. Yeah, Daniel at this point is probably just trying to figure out what he's going to grab with Jenny. I wouldn't be surprised if that Delthea Gregor supported is one of the cards that gets grabbed with Jenny. We'll see though. Yeah, he's probably going to flip a Naui, yep, leaving both red and blue open and flipping the best cards. That way you're in a position to grab those cards back with Naui when you eventually do play her. It's good by Daniel. Just decent bond management, things that you want to keep track of, and Daniel manages to do them well, so that's cool. Now, Daniel needs to determine what he grabs, and yep, sure enough, he grabs the Delthea. If I were him, I'd probably grab a Maria as my other card. Oh, he grabs Red Tiki 5. That's fair, too, because Red Tiki 5 guarantees the bond acceleration. It means that he doesn't have to keep on relying on hitting Jared with colorless Tiki, because Jared is almost certainly never going to let that happen. And this is bad for Jared. I'm pretty sure Jared's chances of winning are slim to none now, just because the trademark turn 4 Delthea that Jared always seems to get just is not happening this game. Meanwhile, judging by the fact that Daniel grabbed a big Delthea from his retreat, he probably has a little one in his hand, so he's probably going to bring out a Delthea of his own this turn, and that's just going to destroy Jared. It's going to bring him down to 2 cards in hand. As Nana, this is definitely not where you want to be. I feel like pretty much the only thing that can really save him at this point would be like if he bonds a yellow card, plays Seliph, Nana skills, then Final Holy Wars. Even then, though, it's probably a bit early for a Final Holy War at this point in the game. Generally, Jared tends to wait until he has more bonds than this before he Final Holy Wars, but, you know, I feel like he's probably in a bit of a pinch here. He might just want to grab as much shit as possible. Do some damage control. Yeah, Jared is really not in a good spot right now. Of course, that's assuming Daniel has Delthea. He might not even have Delthea. He might have just grabbed the big one in hopes of eventually drawing into the little one or healing the little one later. We'll see, though. I feel like if Daniel has Delthea, that's like the pretty clear play here. So maybe he doesn't have it, and that's why he's still thinking. He might also want to consider going into Red Tiki 5. I don't agree with that play, though. If you have Delthea, you have a chance of getting rid of most of Jared's evades from his hand, meaning that, oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. He doesn't have the small Delthea. I can't say I understand why he's playing Delthea on the front row. I don't understand why you would want to get rid of that Fae in the back so badly, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like you might as well just hold on to Delthea. I don't know, though. Maybe he wanted to get rid of the Fae. Maybe he just really didn't have anything else cooking in his hand. Even then, I feel like you might as well just like go into Red Tiki 5 in that case. I guess it paid off for him here because it turned out that Jared didn't actually have a dodge for the colorless Tiki 5. But I feel like it would be a safe assumption to make that he did have a dodge, in which case I feel like Red Tiki 5 would be better. You guarantee the bonding cell, you set yourself up for like a big Jenny turn. Now Jared's going to drop a Jenny of his... Oh, no, never mind. He's just going to swing at face. Or not swing at face, swing at the Delthea, presumably kill it. I don't think Daniel's going to dodge this, is he? He must have a Delthea. Yeah, he must have another big Delthea in his hand. Must have been what he was thinking about. That's strange. Really not have, like... I don't know, I guess for several things that could have happened there. He could have... I'm assuming that he has a big Delthea in his hand because he wasn't able to Delthea overclass the previous turn. But he was, like, waiting to destroy the Delthea as if he was thinking about whether he wanted to dodge or not. So, yeah, I figure he must have another Delthea in his hand, and if he does, I assume it would be most likely that it would be the big one, because that way, you know, if it was a small one, then he would have used it to overclass, and that's an unfortunate self for Daniel. Not even because that prevents him from hitting Jared, because it does. It's going to be a 100 into 90 in Jared's favor, but also because all of Tiki's bonds go to her, or all of Tiki's supports go to the bond zone. All of Red Tiki 5 supports do, but, you know, self-support isn't treated as a support. It says if you don't have a support, so that doesn't go to your bonds. Let's see what Jared's going to do. He's still not even opting to flip his bonds for Nana skill, which makes me think that he might be considering using like a Jenny skill or something. Nope, he is going to do it. Okay. He's reaching the point where a Seliph would probably be beneficial and really do a lot in setting him ahead. Let's see if Daniel can make something happen, though. He plays another Tinny, presumably just trying to draw into even more overclass pieces. See what he deploys. Nothing. Wow. And another self into a flyer. That's incredible. That's crazy. That's very unfortunate for Daniel. Yeah, it's just not much happening on either side. They get a good big oof. Sure thing, man. Ouch, that sucks. I feel for you, Daniel. Holy shit. Still red, so no Seliph in the works, but he could very well like double Delthea here and bring Daniel's hand to his knees. Oh, Jared just passed his turn. Wow. And another tinny to draw another card. Let's see if Daniel has anything to deploy this turn. Any overclasses he could play, a Delthea maybe, or a Jenny, something. Come on. Jenny. Hopefully Daniel doesn't self-support again. I feel like there's no way he self-supports 3 times, although it could certainly happen. It's not like... That's not how statistics work. It's not like himself... Oh my... Wow. That is something else. That's insane. Oh my gosh. Wow. 3 self-support. I was just talking about how like that's not how statistics work. It's not like him selfing the first 2 times makes it odds of him selfing a 3rd time any less likely, like fucking clockwork. Damn, that sucks for Daniel. He's only going to be able to purify and heal once. That's super unfortunate. Hopefully, I hope he runs Maria in this build, because that's going to make a huge difference, because it means that even if this Jenny gets killed, which it most certainly is going to, he'll be able to play Maria on the following turn. And make use of those bonds that he wasn't able to make use of this turn, because Tiki ended up whiffing the support. So he's going to grab a Delthea 1, that'll allow him to use what I presume to be another Delthea 5, or a Delthea 4 in his hand to overclass, hopefully take a chunk out of Jared's hand. And a Naui. We'll see if he actually gets to deploy any of those cards, though. It's very probable that Jared just Delthea's Daniel's hand out of existence this turn. Looks like instead we've got a Seliph in the works, so he could still deploy a Delthea. Let's see how many bonds Jared has. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Jared almost had enough bonds to double Delthea and deploy Seliph. Not quite enough, though. Still no Delthea whatsoever, though. That's a blessing for Daniel. But yeah, this is all of a sudden things are definitely looking to be swinging in Jared's favor, as he is now going to Final Holy War, presumably, and just grab a ton of cards back, because he's going to use Nana's skill. He's going to get even more bonds. His bonds are going to get flipped face down. Now he has 17 bonds, I think. There's the Final Holy War. And it's probably just going to be like straight up a +10 to his hand. I think this Fey 1 was unflipped. Everything else was flipped, so everything that he doesn't grab besides that Fey 1 is going to be flipped. So it looks like he's just going to grab all those overclass pieces, even grabbing a Fey 1. That's interesting. Grabs... Oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was... yeah, I might have been wrong. Lol, I'm dumb. Anyways, yep, now Jared has a 16-card hand. Deltheas are definitely coming out next turn. Either Deltheas or Jennies, who knows. Jared's playing cards from his hand for some reason. I guess Daniel just wanted to see, like, the stuff that was in his hand. Maybe he's going to get a chance to see it when Jared grabbed it back from the Final Holy War. Now, Jared definitely has a fairly commanding lead now. Let's see if Daniel can bring it back. I'm pretty sure Daniel can Delthea, but like, Jared has a 16-card hand. It's not going to do too much.
Should still probably Delthea. I mean, you gotta chip away at that hand somehow, right? 14 card hand is still massive, but it's less massive than a 16 card hand. You know, in order to win, you're gonna have to bring that hand down somehow. You might as well start chipping away at it now.
Robin is bonded. It looks like he's going to go for a Celica overclass here. Get clearing the Seliph off the board. Let's see how many bonds he has left. I think he has a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He has 5, my bad. So he could play Jenny here if he wanted to, or he could play that Naui that he grabbed the last turn, or Maria if he has one. Yep, he's playing the Naui. Slowly but surely getting to work on fitting Jared's 16-card hand. It's a shame Daniel doesn't also run Seliph in this build. I'm trying to figure out ways to incorporate Seliph into my Tiki build, because Seliph is just like a disgustingly broken card. Look at how much advantage he got Jared. Jared literally has a 17-card hand, and it is almost entirely because of Seliph. And yeah, Seliph and Nana in particular have synergy, but like, Daniel still has a shit ton of bonds too. Like, Seliph works great in nearly any late game deck pretty much, because just due to how late game decks work ever since Overclass became a thing, you just get a shit ton of bonds. Yeah, Daniel gonna bring Jared down to an 18-card hand, and then down to a 17-card hand, presumably. The attacks from Celica and Naui. I'm saying presumably and not. I need to stop.
Jared's hand and deck are the same size. How do you like that? Ooh, good thing Naui didn't self there, otherwise that attack wouldn't have hit. Alright, Jared's down to 17 cards in hand, but he doesn't have orbs. Daniel has 4. Not like that matters too much in late game, especially in this deck where Jared just plays Fae and then overclasses Fae like 5 times to destroy all of your opponent's orbs. Can't help but feel like this is a situation where Jared would benefit from running Celica overclass though, because I think Jared's going to be a bit hard pressed to clear this field. We're probably going to see a Delthea deploy. He could also deploy a Jenny, but I feel like it would be wise of Jared to take advantage of the fact that like he has so much more cards in his hand. He plays Delthea on the front row. Can't fathom why he would do that. Like he already has like so many more cards in his hand than Daniel. Realistically, there's no way that Jared is ever going to like not have 1-3 range on Delthea for a long time. But yeah, he does have to crit with Delthea there. 70 to 80 is to be expected. Unfortunate that Jared needs to crit with high-cost Delthea, but Jared's still definitely in the lead here. Daniel's just got to keep on chugging away. See what... Got to keep on chipping away at the mountain of advantage that Jared has developed here. See if Daniel has anything worth deploying in his hand. I noticed that he grabbed a Tiki with Naui at the end of his last turn. I don't know if I don't really know how I feel about that. I don't think that evades are really your first priority in this matchup. I think that I want to focus a lot more on just grabbing overclass pieces. There is going to be a Delthea. Going to reduce Jared's hand down from 15 to 13. May not seem like much, but it's getting there. He's got to break down the mountain somehow. Oh, wow. It almost looks like it's making up for all the self-supports that Daniel had earlier on in the game. Tiki hits 2 of Jared's Jennies. That is very good for Daniel. It's going to hurt Jared's survivability quite a bit. If I'm Daniel, I feel like, well, nah, because Delthea is 60. And Daniel is going to deploy a Jenny, try and boost up his hand a bit. I don't know if I would have done that. I think that there's advantages and disadvantages to playing Jenny here. The advantage is it's like a safe play. It's like, oh, I definitely don't think I would have played that Robin, though. Maybe he just wants to try and, like, kill Jared this turn, but I feel like the main reason you play Jenny here is because you're afraid that it'll get hit by a Delthea on the following turn. But if that's the case, then why play Robin 1 here? Maybe you want to crit with him, but, like, I think that when you're playing against this deck, it is really beneficial for you to keep your hand size up. This is kind of a risky play. Like, I guess that Daniel's just trying to go for broke here, but I don't think Daniel's necessarily in a position where he has to go for broke. At most, Jared overclasses Delthea once, so as long as Daniel keeps a decently sized hand, he won't get hurt too badly by it. But now he is actually reducing his hand size by quite a bit, and it's actually going to make him pretty vulnerable to being hit by a Delthea overclass now. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this play, because yeah, he's gonna have 2 cards in his hand. Hopefully Jared does not have another Delthea in his hand. Meanwhile, Daniel parted with a Delthea of his own. I feel like if I were him, maybe he drew into that with a well, yeah, if he drew into it with a Delthea overclass, there's nothing from stopping him from just playing it again. I feel like I would have much rather just double Delthea overclassed. You get Jared's hand down to 11, just like you did earlier, but you also have like way more cards in your hand because you didn't like crit with a bunch of stuff. You aren't playing Robin 1 from your hand. This puts you in a much more advantageous position, I feel like. Yeah, the Jenny is going to come out, but like you could Delthea overclass twice this turn, save that Jenny, and then use it on the following turn. I was talking earlier how I felt like I think that Jenny's like, it's like a safe play. You're worried that she'll get hit by the Delthea, so you just want to drop her and make use of her while you still can. But I think that, like, let's see here. I forget how many cards Jared had in his, or Daniel had in his hand at the beginning of his turn, but I'm pretty sure he had like 5 or 6, so his chances of Jenny getting hit weren't very high. Jared at most can overclass Delthea once. Jared also crit with the Delthea on the prior turn to clear that Naui, so I feel like it's kind of unlikely that Jared had a Delthea in his hand. Yeah, I definitely think that Daniel would have been better off just double Deltheaing and not trying to play super aggressive here, because he's like trying to go for game almost, like critting with a 1 cost, and I just feel like it's putting him in a position that's way more vulnerable than he needs to actually be in. And I just feel like there's no way Jared doesn't have evades. Like, look at how big Jared's hand is. He still has 10 cards in his hand. I just think there's no feasible way that Daniel kills him this turn. Alright, sorry about that. We're back once again. I'm gonna check to see, yeah. So what happened? Oh, hang on, let me get this thing off the screen. Nobody says anything because they're all in voice chat. Okay, so he attacks with Jenny. Yeah, he killed Delthea. Alright. Ha! Jared still has another Delthea, or another Jenny in his hand after losing 2 of them. I guess that's to be expected when you had like 17 cards in your hand at the beginning of this turn. But yeah, looks like Jared's main goal is just going to be to rebuild his hand size up after being brought down to 8 cards in hand, it would seem. But yeah, now he has an orb. He's going to flip through Jenny to get back up to 10. And it also looks like Jared is almost... Oh, nope, never mind. He moved Jenny back from Flyer Emblem. And then he's moving Nana back. Maybe he just has like a ton of Claire in his hand. I don't know. I guess he's just debating here whether he wants to use Nana's skill or Jenny's skill. Using Seliph to unflip an extra bond. Yeah. Yeah, he just wanted to do that before Jenny because obviously, like, once Relief is flipped, you can't use the bond skill.
He grabs a mana and a Seliph. An evade and a means of final Holy Warring the following turn. Or maybe just on flip another Bond Leaf Seliph. Let's see what Daniel does. That Delthea is still on the board. That could potentially be useful. Daniel frontlines a Jenny. He's just playing very aggressively right now. Yeah, like... Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, he plays it on the back line. He really has no reason to play that on the front line. He's just gonna, like, even if, like, the Claire dodges all of the... Yeah, he's not dodging. Yeah, he had no reason to play that Jenny on the front line. So yeah, hopefully Daniel doesn't self of Tiki again. That way he can use Jenny's skill to get the cards that he needs. Presumably another Delthea. There we go again, saying presumably. Since I don't believe he runs Maria, I feel like he's probably just going to grab a Delthea, and I don't know, maybe another Robin crit, maybe a Celica. He could just grab another Tiki dodge. Daniel seems to enjoy his Tiki dodges in this matchup, even though I don't think they really do much of anything. I guess it's nice to be safe. Of course, that only happens if Daniel actually ends up hitting with Tiki, which could very well not happen. And that's unfortunate. I don't think it matters too much because it's unlikely that, like, even say Delthea does hit, or Jenny does hit Jenny there, then you just have another attack with Delthea. Oh, good thing he ordered it the way he did. Maybe it did matter because now Jenny might survive if Jared has another dodge. Yeah, he does. So, damn, that self did actually matter. Then again, Jared got a flyer. I don't think Daniel runs any flyers in his deck. So, Daniel's going to Mage Emblem. What's he going to discard? Discards a Tiki dodge. Yeah, that's fair. Flips 3 with Jenny. And yeah, we'll see if he decides to grab. Almost certainly grabs a Jenny, I feel like. Or not a Jenny, a Delthea, my bad. You can't grab Jenny with Jenny. Yeah, who knows what he grabs. Oh, yeah, he's probably going to grab Naui, actually. I feel like he's probably just going to get Delthea and Naui. Delthea. Yep. And... thinking. I wish I could see what was in his retreat, but unfortunately I cannot. Spectators and lackeys can't see retreat zone. It's pretty unfortunate. And a Maria. So he does run Maria. I'm surprised he didn't grab it earlier. Alright, I'm going to pause real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back. I feel like I've actually missed a decent amount. It's back to Daniel's turn. I don't know what went down during Jared's turn. I guess he overclassed Jenny again. Jared's once mighty 17-18 card hand has been brought down to its knees. It looks like Daniel and Delthea overclassed again. Daniel selfs, but it doesn't matter. Still hits, although that is kind of unfortunate. The bond would have been nice to have earlier there. Just gonna see if he can't sneak in a hit there. I don't think there's any way that actually hits. Oh no, he had a crit. Jared has a dodge though. No doubt he will use Jenny's healing skill next turn. I don't think he's in any position to try and use Nana's skill to get some extra bonds. I think he just wants to use Jenny, heal up. Bonds a leaf, so he'll give himself an extra bond at the end of his turn. He goes for a Fey overclass. He might just try and build a wall here in that case. I feel like ideally Jared probably wants to play Fey. Oh, can he do that? Wow. 4 plus 5. Yeah, he has 9 bonds. He has enough to overclass both Jenny
and Fae. So yeah, he's not even gonna try and hide behind the Fae. Just gonna have Fae mill Daniel's orbs down, get Jared closer to winning the game. And yeah, admittedly, this looks like it's kind of a tough spot for Daniel. It looks like he bonded the Maria that he grabbed last turn, so it doesn't seem that he'll have any way of getting any more advantage. He's going to heal with Jenny. I feel like Delthea and Delthea and a Fae. I was thinking maybe, or not a Delthea, a Nana and a Fae. I was feeling like he was probably going to grab a Delthea with Jenny, but I guess Fae is fair. Puts Jared even closer to winning the game. For a moment it had looked like Daniel had almost caught up, but now it looks like Jared's in a very solid situation. Yeah, sure enough, Daniel's not even going to bond anything or deploy anything. He's just going to kill that Fae, prevent her from overclassing again. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I might as well just try and hit the Nana in the face. I don't know, though.
It's a shame he has no way of clearing this Jenny. Well, it's alright, because he doesn't have Leaf Self in his hand. If Jared doesn't have Leaf Self in his hand, looks like Jared is gonna final Holy War, though, it seems, yeah. Gets a Delthea and a Leaf. He's just gonna recharge his hand once again. Tap moves up Jenny. Tap moves back Nana. See how many Nanas he has in there. Only one. So I guess he just doesn't have very many Nanas. I don't... This commentary isn't exactly insightful. I apologize for that. I kind of just have to narrate shit as it happens. There isn't too much to say here. It's pretty much just like Jared grabs a fistful of cards of Final Holy War. Hopefully Daniel can draw into like a Jenny or like some way of getting shit into his hand. Yeah, it's starting to look a bit grim for Daniel, I feel like. I feel like Daniel still has an opportunity to break through. I don't know. I think the opportunity is a lot less prevalent here, though, than it was last time when Daniel was he had like I think he had like a 7 or an 8 card hand almost when Jared final Holy Ward and picked up like 10 cards and got a 16 card hand. Delthea. No overclass though. Really doesn't have anything better to do. That's unfortunate. I guess it worked out for him. I was like, I don't know, I feel like I might have not even wanted to deploy that Delthea if you couldn't overclass with him or with her, but I guess it worked out because that's going to cause him to dodge a Tiki Self. I wonder how many times Daniel himself has read Tiki 5 this game. Imagine it's quite a bit. Either way, I still don't know how much I like that play because it's not like he knew he had a Tiki on top of his deck. But, alright, let's see what Jared decides to do. He's just going to go for another Fae overclass. And the game, I feel like, has almost been equalized here. Daniel is at only one more card in his orbs than Jared does, but Jared has a whopping 9 more cards in his hand than him. The difference... Jared just gets closer and closer to the point where he's able to win the game. He's going to tap move back Fae, not even going to give Daniel the opportunity to clear her off the board. A Jenny or a Maria would be absolutely extremely useful for Daniel here, but I don't know if he probably doesn't have one. I'm pretty sure he's just living off of his top decks at this point. He drops a Naui on the front line. I guess he just wants to clear that Fae, which he does. I feel like nope, Jared doesn't even dodge. Jared runs like 12 Fae in this deck. There's a lot of Fae. I feel like he just dodged, but yeah. I'm pretty sure Daniel has some good stuff in his bonds he can grab with Naui. If he really wanted to, he could grab his face-up Jenny. Who knows? He might have a face-down Jenny. Obviously, if you want to grab a face-down card and then a face-up card. But we'll see. As a spectator, I lose my right-clicking ability. I can't actually look at his bonds. Flip button does nothing. Obviously, can't interfere with the game state at all. So I have no way of telling what these bonds are. Yeah, I feel like this could be potentially a very... He grabs a tinny. Really? I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe he has something good in his hand. Maybe he has like another Naui in his hand. I feel like I can't help but feel like Daniel's just forgotten that he has the option to grab face-up bonds. And now Jared's just gonna Purifying Heal Jenny again using Leaf Seliph. Get up to 13 cards in hand. This game just floats farther and farther away from Daniel's grasp. Looks like Daniel's gonna just have to beat Ike twice if he wants to win this set. I don't really see Daniel winning this game, to be perfectly honest. He is gonna have to crit that Naui in order to clear it though, so that's pretty nice for Daniel. Got 12 card hand though. Who knows how many dodges he has in that 12 card hand of his. Who knows, maybe Daniel has like a Delthea in his hand. Might be able to like magically get 2 of Jared's Nana evades, and then like he has some other shit he can deploy and just beat Jared down. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it all just ultimately boils down to what's in Daniel's hand. We have no idea what's in his hand. He just drew a card of Tinny. Could be great, might not be so great. Jenny Overclass. I question the usefulness of that, because Jared never, ever attacks MC in this deck until Red 0 Orbs, and before they get to 0 Orbs, he just only kills them by Faying them, so I don't even think that Jenny Orb is actually going to like do much of anything. It's just going to mean that Jared has to Fay one more time, which, in the grand scheme of things, isn't really that big of a deal. Jenny goes to Orbs. Does Daniel have anything else he can deploy? He has a Naui. That's good. He just wants to make sure that Jenny gets off the field in case his Jenny misses or selfs or Jared has a dodge and he can attack that Jenny with Naui as well. Nope, he decides not to. He just decides to backline the Naui. That's fair, I guess. It means that Naui can't get hit by like Fays or selfs or leafs or whatever. It works out for him because Jared does not dodge with that Jenny. Gets another Jenny in bonds. Again, I think that it would probably not be a terribly bad idea. Oh, I just realized Daniel's at 1 card in his deck. Hopefully he realizes that he needs to use Jenny now and he doesn't attack with Naui. That would be very bad. Okay, yeah, good. He realizes. Yeah, and he's going to flip that Jenny. He's going to grab it with Naui. Yeah, Daniel's in a decent position now. God, I sound like I'm like drunk. Daniel's in a decent position right now. Yeah. You can tell that this set is really exciting me.
I like playing Tiki. I love playing me some Tiki. It's not exactly the most entertaining thing in the world, though, when you're playing against other control decks. Control's the type of thing. It's only fun when I'm doing it. It's not fun when anyone else is doing it. I was going to grab a Delthea and a Naui. No doubt he's going to grab a Jenny with Naui at the end of the turn with Naui's bond skill, bond grabbing skill. Yeah, I think Daniel's in a better position now.
I'm sure I sound like so like inconsistent. Like I feel like I've flip-flopped on my stance like several times this game. Like, oh, there's no way Daniel wins, and now I'm like, oh, there's no way Jared wins. And, yeah. Well, I'm a pretty temperamental person. In case my opinions on cards and certain MCs haven't revealed that, I tend to flip-flop my stances on shit quite a bit. I'll like say that this one MC is like a piece of shit one day, then like the next day I'll be like, this MC is like tier 2 at worst, it's so good. And then like the day after I'll go back to saying it's like a piece of shit. Whatever. I try and stay level-headed. So yeah, I do think that Daniel's in a much better spot now though, especially if Jared doesn't have Deltheas. I've noticed that Jared hasn't been really Deltheaing at all this game. Wow, look at that. All 4 Leafs. All 4 of them. That's pretty. And wow, Jared's down to 8 cards in hand, and Daniel's gonna go up to 6. After all of that talk about how, yeah, I think Jared's done. I don't think he's gonna win it. I think it's over. I don't think Daniel can come back from this. Daniel came back. I guess Fatini ended up working out for him. I was like shitting on him a lot for that. I'm like, you should have just grabbed the Jenny. Although I guess he just had another Jenny in his hand. That's why he didn't grab the Jenny. He just grabbed the Tinny instead. At the same time, though, he has 2 face-up bonds here, so I feel like if he had just like not even played the Tinny, maybe he really did just draw into that Jenny with his Tinny. Because I feel like if he already had the Jenny in his hand, I don't think Tinnying was a very good play there, because then he would have been able, because had he not Tinnied, he would have been able to Jenny twice in one turn.
Yeah, there's a Delthea. This game is beginning to crumble for Jared. Just look at all those bonds. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 7, 8, 19. 19 bonds. Now imagine if Daniel also had Self in this deck. He just final Holy Ward. And he took back like all but 8 of his bonds. So he has 20 bonds now. So that'd be 12 bonds. He just gains 12 cards in his hand. That would be stupid. Yeah, Daniel Selfs still hasn't managed to get to a point where he has more cards in his hand than Jared, so Delthea is still just going to be 60 base 1 to 2 range. But yeah, it's getting to that point though. I think that Jared might be able to cling to life if he like plays a Self this turn. And then he just final Holy Wars a shit ton of bonds back, gets his hand size back up to 10. But even then, I can't help but feel like he's kind of just going to be delaying the inevitable, because I assume he's going to want to tap move back Nana, because I don't think he actually has any Nanas in his bonds. Which means that grabbing a bunch of bonds with Self isn't going to increase the amount of evades he has in his hand. Nah, he's just going to go for the Delthea. It's unfortunate that he didn't do that sooner. Grabs a Tiki and a Jenny. Okay, that's pretty good for him. Tiki doesn't mean anything, but hitting that Jenny is pretty massive. I would question why he played the Delphi in the front line, but yeah, I figure he just wants to tap him back with Nana. Hitting the Jenny's fortunate. I don't know if it'll save him though, because I'm pretty sure he has a Maria in his bond that he can just grab of Naui this turn. He's going to be able to clear that Delthea. I almost feel like it's just a matter of time before Daniel ends up winning this game. And then he just needs to win one game of Ike, which is like his flagship deck. It's been the deck that he's been praised the most for playing. So yeah, it's looking good for Daniel. One more self before call it quits this match, of course. But yeah, Delthea is not going to stick around. And yeah, it's just not too much Jared can do. He's pretty much his only play that can save him here. Maybe like a Jenny overclass, because then he'll also have 3 bonds and he'll be able to grab something. And then maybe if he has another Jenny in his hand, he can crypt the Naui to kill it.
Daniel's likely going to grab a Maria here, I feel like. Because I'm pretty sure he has one in his bonds. Again, I can't check because I'm a spectator, but I remember him flipping a Maria, and I don't think he ever grabbed. Oh, nope, he just has another Jenny. Doesn't even need to grab a Maria, so, yeah. Turn 38. Maybe I'll cut out a bunch of this game, like I did with the last Duck versus Haruno game. We'll see, though. Yeah, here comes Seliph.
Jared is just going to attempt the Desperation Holy War, trying to cling to life for as long as he can, but with only Seliph and Nana on board, and with Daniel prepared to get to play Jenny and use Jenny's skills twice next turn, which he will be able to do as long as he doesn't self with Tiki. Sure, Jared's going to grab a bunch of cards off of this final Holy War, but what good are they even going to do? They're almost all like 1 costs. Yeah, just a bunch of Fays, 1 Delthea, 1 cost, yeah. Maybe he just wants to build the Great Wall of Fae here. Nope, he's not even going to do that. He's just going to grab Claire. Yeah, these cards aren't really going to help him win the game. I'm pretty sure he probably has like 2 Nana evades at most now with this Holy War. Maybe the last 2 cards in his hand are Nana. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to boost his hand count up to 8. And then Daniel is going to be at 6, 5, 4. Daniel's also going to be at 8. So yeah. Unfortunate for Jared. Seems like the end is near, though. Is he going to draw a card here, go up to 6, bond from hand, go down to 5, play the Jenny, go down to 4, then attack with Tiki, get a 6 open bond, and then use Jenny's skill twice. He'll be up to 8 cards in hand. 7 if he decides to deploy another unit besides Jenny, which he also could do. But yeah, looks like Daniel's managed to pull it through. Yeah, and there's the Jenny. Let's see if he has anything else to deploy. Nope. Just gonna keep it simple. Watch Miss Tiki self. Another self for the road. Yep, of course. Another Tiki self. Wow, that's pretty funny. Not like it even really matters anymore. Yeah. Assume Daniel will attack with Jenny. Up his options as much as possible before he uses Jenny. Yeah, now I can only use Jenny once because he selfed again with Tiki for like the 17th time this game. Flips a Naui and a Delthea and some other card that doesn't matter. That way he won't get punished for grabbing the Naui or Delthea with Naui. He doesn't flip Celica. Yeah, he wants to leave both blue and red open. He just flips a Robin. Let's count how many bonds he has. Is it still like 20? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He'll be down to 18 at the end of his turn thanks to Naui. 18 bonds. Gonna keep on saying it. Imagine if he had self. Get 10 cards in his hand. And I'm not like trying to talk down to him or anything. I don't run self in my Tiki either. I would like to find a way to run him though, just because, as I've said numerous times already, Seliph is like quite frankly a broken card. It's just so ridiculous how many cards he gives you. Grabs a Celica, a big Celica, and a little Delthea. That's an interesting choice of cards, but I mean... And then he grabs a big Delthea. 7 card hand. Daniel, I'm pretty sure, just needs to survive 1 more Delthea and then he wins the game. Like, pretty much like Jared Daniels here. He Daniels here, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, he just phased. This is done. This is a done deal. Rip Jared. Probably plays that Delthea 1 in his hand because he has like an evade for it. Yeah, I think if I were Jared, I would have just picked up my cards by now. And before Jared somehow brings us back, just to like cement the fact that I've been wrong so many times about the flow of this game before. No, Daniel's got this in the bag. No, Jared's got it in the bag. No, Daniel's got it in the bag. No, Jared's got it in the bag. Jared flips all of Daniel's bonds face up. Look at all of them tinnies. That's cool. Let's see if I was right. Did he have a Maria or did I miss him grabbing it? Yep, he had it. Woohoo! I was right. Does he have any Jennies? Yep. Oh no, he has a Jenny 1. Yeah, he doesn't have. It doesn't look like he has any more Jennies in his bonds, so he must have another one in his hand. Otherwise, I feel like he would have grabbed the Maria instead of the big Delthea. Yeah, this is likely over. I feel like the game ends this turn. If not, it definitely ends next turn for Daniel. Pawn's a Tiki. Probably gonna Delthea Jared down to 2 cards in hand. Jared preemptively shuffles his hand, the classic. There goes half of what remains of Jared's hand, his once 18 card hand. This was a pretty cool game to watch. I can't say if I've ever witnessed a player with 18 cards in their hand eventually lose. And yep, here's a second Delthea. Here goes Jared's hand from 18 to 0. That's control mirrors for you. Yeah. Kudos to Daniel. Yeah, he does have enough bonds for it. I was gonna be like, does he have enough bonds for that? But yeah, and Jared just scoops. He reveals his deck instead of his hand. Yeah, kudos to Daniel. I don't know if I could have stayed untilted throughout the course of that game after missing all those Tiki selves. And I mean, you heard me before. There were several times where I was like, oh yeah, Daniel's probably lost. I was in his position. I don't know if I would have been able to keep my cool, but yep, that's all for that game. We're going to be going into Game 4, where we're watching more Nana Joy. Stall in general, not exactly the most fun deck to watch. Jeez, I'm really slow. Game 4 is already started. I'm going to shut up and end the recording now. See y'all for Game 4.